According to the World Bank and World Health Organization statistics, 1 billion people, which makes up a total of 15% of the world's population, suffer from some form of disability. This is an immense ratio, and it is highly possible that you may have learners with one or more of these disabilities in a MOOC. Even in the absence of physical and mental disabilities, there are individual learning differences that need to be addressed in any learning design. Besides, in the global village we are living in, there are also cultural differences. In the face of such diversity, to increase the accessibility and inclusiveness of MOOCs, we can benefit from a framework called Universal Design for Learning. Universal Design for Learning is a set of principles in the design of courses, from the preparation of the syllabus to the design of instructional materials, assessment tools, and policies and interactions that take place in the course. There are 3 basic principles of Universal Design for Learning. The first principle is provide multiple means of representation. This is the what of learning. As we all perceive and comprehend information in different ways, according to this principle, the content should be presented in different ways. The second principle is provide multiple means of action and expression. This is the how of learning. This principle calls for multiple ways for the learners to demonstrate what they know. And the last principle is provide multiple means of engagement. This is the why of learning. This principle addresses the affective domain and is interested in how learners are engaged, regulate their learning, sustain motivation, and engage with the other learners. As this brief explanation on Universal Design for Learning implies, to design courses which are open to anyone who wishes to learn using open educational resources, we need to create options and alternatives. Now let's have a brief look at how we can increase the accessibility and inclusion of our course. The first question to ponder is, are a variety of instructional materials and assignments used in the course? Not all learners are the same. Using different types of materials will help us reach a diverse population of students. Among these students, there might be learners with special needs, impairments, or there might even be learners who learn better with different forms of representation. The course should be flexible, and learners should be able to choose the type of material they will use to learn the content. The design should also be simple and intuitive, perceptible, and should require low physical effort. Even if you may not be able to meet all these at the beginning, in the long run you can improve the accessibility and usability of your course following the Universal Design for Learning. Here comes the second question. Are all audio-video files captioned? Especially for learners with hearing loss, captioning audio-video files would help. If you have no chance to add subtitles, audio-video files can be accompanied with tape scripts. Learners with hearing loss use tape scripts to access the content. Also, some learners prefer reading the content as they go over audio-video materials. Are the visuals narrated is the third question. There are also visually impaired learners, and we should address their needs as well. Especially visually impaired learners miss the content when the content has graphics, visuals that explain the topic. If you have images, graphics, mathematical formula, etc. that are essential to the understanding of the topic or the task, provide text-based and audio descriptions. You can also tag the images you use. We should also make all the documents like PDFs, Word documents, and PowerPoint slides accessible via screen readers. This includes tables, graphs, and math symbols, special characters, etc. Visually impaired learners cannot access documents if they are not accessible on their devices. These brief tips address physical impairments, but we should also address the overall design. First of all, the content should be easy to comprehend. Modules and topics should be named appropriately and informatively. All pages on the platform should have an informative title. This not only helps the learners to navigate easily, but also assist learners with disability. When students use assistive technologies like screen readers, in the absence of appropriate titles, they cannot find what they will be exposed to. Moreover, all critical terminology should be explained as if none of the learners are familiar with it. Critical or key concepts should be highlighted. In this way, while learners who are familiar with these concepts can skip these, the ones who are unfamiliar can catch up with the rest of the content. To assist learners to self-regulate, provide checklists to let them evaluate their own progress, provide templates to help learners take notes, organize their thoughts, and complete assignments. This is especially helpful for learners who have lower self-organization and regulation skills. As for interpersonal interactions, allow for multiple forms of expression, such as text, audio, visual, so that learners can be a part of learning communities regardless of their abilities or preferences. These are just the basic tips to consider, yet they make a lot of difference.